Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Massive transfer news coming your way. Liverpool have officially submitted a £78 million bid for Hugo Ekitike, and the deal is heating up fast. With a full agreement already in place, the Reds are moving quickly to secure the talented striker, and there's a twist involving Newcastle and Alexander Isak being sent home. Stay tuned as we break it all down, only here on Reds Fusion LFC. Liverpool reaches outline of agreement over Hugo Ekitike deal that could exceed $110.5 million. Liverpool is closing in on another huge summer signing, with Hugo Ekitike set to move to Anfield from Frankfurt for a fee that could rise to more than $110 million. Liverpool has reached an understanding over a deal to sign Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt, with a formal agreement between the two clubs expected over the next day or so. The Athletic reports that Liverpool could end up paying more than $110 million for Ekitike, if all the add-on clauses in the deal are met. Liverpool is in the market for a new striker, with Darwin Núñez expected to leave, and the club a player light in that position following the tragic death of Diogo Jota earlier this month. Liverpool made it clear to Newcastle at the start of the week that it was interested in signing Alexander Isak, but within days an agreement had been struck with Ekitike over a move to Anfield. It remains unclear as to whether Liverpool has the financial capacity to sign both players, but if it did, that would point to a gross summer spend of around $500 million. Liverpool has raised funds from the sales of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jarell Quansah and Kevin Kelleher, while Darwin Núñez and Harvey Elliott are also high-value players who could leave. Regarding Isak, he was left out of Newcastle's squad for a friendly with Celtic on Saturday, with Magpies boss Eddie Howe confirming his omission was due to the speculation that surrounded his future in recent days. "It was my decision, to leave Isak out," Howe said. "He travelled back to Glasgow with us but I decided to send him home due to the speculation around him. The last thing he wanted is to be sat in the stand watching, that wasn't fair to him. But I'm confident he will be a Newcastle player come the end of the window." Howe added, "I've had discussions with him, Isak, but that's not abnormal. I respect a player's career and how short it is. Alex has been really good, he's trained really well and I realize there'll be noise around him. I chose to send him home. The last thing Alex wants if he is not playing is to be sat in the stand and under that scrutiny, then if he wasn't going to play today, we mutually agreed he shouldn't be here." Howe, who said that Newcastle had not received a formal approach for Isak, made it clear how keen he is for the player to remain at St. James Park. "We have a few of those players who are irreplaceable," Howe added. "Your top players are so hard to find, so hard to recruit and so hard to develop. So when you have them, you need to treasure them. Of course we're desperate to keep him as part of our team. I think it's difficult for me to ever give 100% clarity on any player, I'd never do that. All I can say is Alex is happy at Newcastle, he loves the players, the staff, the team. I've never had any issue with him and I'm confident he's going to be here at the start of the season." Alexander Isak sent home by Newcastle as transfer updates shared after Liverpool interest. The striker has been linked with a move to Liverpool and the Saudi Pro League this week before being left out of the Newcastle squad for Saturday's friendly with Celtic. Eddie Howe expects Alexander Isak to remain at Newcastle United this summer. That is despite reported interest from Liverpool in the Sweden international striker and a decision to send him home ahead of Saturday's friendly at Celtic. Isak enjoyed an outstanding 2024-25 season with the Magpies, helping the club win the Carabao Cup and secure Champions League qualification. He scored 23 goals and registered 6 assists in the Premier League. Liverpool's interest in Isak was widely reported this week, though the Reds now appear set to pursue alternative options to strengthen their attacking ranks. Liverpool are now strong favourites, and the preferred destination. For 23-year-old French striker Hugo Ekitike, with ongoing discussions over a deal with Eintracht Frankfurt believed to be worth in excess of £70 million. Ekitike had a breakthrough season in the Bundesliga, scoring 15 goals and providing 8 assists. He had previously been strongly linked with a move to Newcastle, but now appears likely to move to Anfield. Meanwhile, reports have also linked Isak with potential interest from clubs in Saudi Arabia. The striker was not included in Newcastle's squad for Saturday's friendly against Celtic. Speaking after the 4-0 defeat at Parkhead, Howe explained the decision. "It was my decision," he said. "I decided to send him home due to the speculation around him. The last thing he wanted was to be sat in the stand watching, that wasn't fair to him. But I'm confident he will be a Newcastle player." Howe added, "Both, Joe Linton and Isak, are fit but not ready to play. Alex has trained and is fine, but we didn't want to take the risk with him. It's difficult for me to give 100% clarity on any player. Alex is happy at Newcastle, he loves the players, the staff, the team." The loss to Celtic capped off a frustrating week for Newcastle, who have so far struggled to land key targets in the transfer market. Alongside Ekitike, goalkeeper James Trafford was expected to join Newcastle, but on Saturday was strongly linked with a return to Manchester City. Liverpool will make Newcastle pay for Hugo Ekitike transfer deal. And while Eddie Howe's side were reeling from the knockback, Liverpool swooped in. Ekitike now appears Anfield-bound, and his arrival will take the Reds spending to well over £250 million this summer. Newcastle have no choice but to move on to other targets, and according to one report in Germany, they have got a Liverpool player in their sights. Nunez stuck in transfer limbo. But more outgoings will be required in order to finance a blockbuster deal for Ekitike, and this is where Newcastle's interest in Darwin Nunez could come in very handy indeed. Having seen a move to Napoli fall apart, due to the Italian champion's reluctance to meet Liverpool's asking price, 26-year-old Darwin was stuck in transfer limbo. Teams in Saudi Arabia are willing to meet his valuation, said to be around £70 million, but the player's first choice had been initially to remain in Europe. And now Bild is reporting that Newcastle are ready to move on to Darwin to supplement their striking options. Newcastle have got Darwin Nunez on their radar. Of course, Alexander Isak remains the Magpies' first choice, but the reason behind a move for Ekitike was reportedly to give cover and competition to the Swede, as well as field the duo up top together. Newcastle have dropped out of the poker game and already have two other attackers on their radar, Victor Osimhen and Darwin Nunez, the report reads. It became increasingly clear that the Frenchman was not convinced about a move to Newcastle. Experts were all the more surprised that Newcastle had already submitted an initial official offer, €80 million, to Frankfurt. It's clear that the Magpies wanted to put significant pressure on Ekitike, hoping for a breakthrough. Newcastle's Darwin deal will pay for Ekitike. And after all that, Newcastle could end up funding Liverpool's move for the player they coveted most in this window. By selling Darwin to the northeast side, Liverpool can then use the proceeds on a deal for Ekitike. Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool submit £78 million bid to sign player who already has full agreement to join. Liverpool are reportedly closing in on their next transfer deal. Liverpool are reportedly closing in on a deal for Hugo Ekitike after submitting a fresh bid worth up to £78 million to Eintracht Frankfurt. The Reds advanced with a move for the player during the week after being told by Newcastle United that striker Alexander Isak was not for sale. Liverpool had approached the North East club to express their interest in the Sweden international. The Magpies had offered a club record bid of around £70 million to sign Ekitike but saw that offer rejected. Liverpool also submitted a bid during the week but saw it knocked back. Newcastle backed out of the deal, but Liverpool have remained in talks with Frankfurt as they look to add a new striker to their ranks. The Reds advanced with a move for the player during the week after being told by Newcastle United that striker Alexander Isak was not for sale. Liverpool had approached the North East club to express their interest in the Sweden international. The Magpies had offered a club record bid of around £70 million to sign Ekitike but saw that offer rejected. Liverpool also submitted a bid during the week but saw it knocked back. Newcastle backed out of the deal, but Liverpool have remained in talks with Frankfurt as they look to add a new striker to their ranks. Liverpool closing in on Hugo Ekitike. Providing a major update on Liverpool's move for Ekitike, Fabrizio Romano said, Liverpool are closing in on Hugo Ekitike deal with Eintracht Frankfurt as new bid has been submitted. Package worth up to €90 million, £78 million, with add-ons also part of the proposal, being structured between the two clubs. Ekitike has full agreement with LFC on a 6-year contract. The French striker scored 22 goals and provided 12 assists for Frankfurt last term and has been linked with a number of Europe's top clubs. There has been plenty of Premier League interest with Chelsea and Manchester United linked alongside Newcastle United. Chelsea's interest will have waned in recent weeks after signing Liam Delap from Ipswich Town and completing a deal for João Pedro from Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester United, as reported by our sister website Manchester World, were unable to do a deal at the price demanded by Eintracht Frankfurt. What Hugo Ekitike can bring to Liverpool. Former West Ham and Wolves first-team coach Edu Rubio discussed Liverpool's potential signing of Ekitike, as he said, "He can be a great signing for Liverpool FC. He can play on his own at the front or in a front two. He can also drift to the wing. He is versatile and comes from 18 excellent months at Frankfurt.